Hello everyone. Welcome once again to another PHP tutorial video by Slideoscope. In this part we are learning about exception handling in PHP with example. So exception handling in PHP is a way to handle errors gracefully and ensure the application doesn't crash when something goes wrong. It uses try, catch, and optionally finally blocks to manage exceptions. So there are three elements to understand exception handling. Throwing an exception. If error occurs, you can throw an exception using the throw keyword. Catching an exception. Finally, block. So in catching the expression, the try block contains code that may throw an exception in the catch block handles the exception. And an optional is finally block. The finally block contains code that will always execute regardless of whether an exception was thrown or not thrown. So these are the three cases and its syntax is very easy to understand. You write your try block, then catch with exception and $E, the code to handle the exception, and the finally block, code that always executes. This part is optional. So here is a simple exception handling program. So let's copy the program. I will provide this code to you as well if you are trying to learn. Here you can see we have a simple program where we have created a function. The name of this user defined function is divide and it takes two arguments $A and $B. In this function, because when you are trying to divide a number by another number, the second number cannot be 0 because when you divide by 0, you get undefined value. So if b equal to 0, throw new exception. Okay. So here we are using throw and new exception that division by 0 is not allowed. So here we are trying some different examples. Try. Okay, in try we are trying two examples. In the first example we are dividing 10 by 2 and this code will work. So it will show you the result of a divided by b because in the function we are returning the value $A divided by $B. In the second code echo divide 10 comma 0, this will throw an exception, and once it throws the exception because b's value is 0, we will catch the exception into e. Okay, and whatever exception is there, so we will echo caught exception, and inside e we will get message. Okay, and then there is a finally code that will always echo end of division operation. Okay, so we will simply open XAMPP, run Apache, and MySQL is not needed at this time, but we'll run Apache and simply copy the file path, paste here, and this is inside. So here you can see 5 and caught exception. Division by 0 is not allowed. Okay. If we will simply put a break between them, like echo a line break, so you will be able to see that. First code is giving the output, second code is giving an exception that division by 0 is not allowed, and this part will always run because it is finally code. Now you can also use custom exceptions. So you can create custom exception classes by extending the base exception class. Okay, so let's copy the code and explain you one by one line. So here we are using class custom exception, which is extending the exception class. Here we are creating function check number. We are taking one input number. If number is greater than 100, throw new custom exception that the number is too large. Let's say we took a limit of 100, and this will finally return the number is acceptable. This function, when a number is called in this exception as an argument, if the number is used in this function, so it will compare the number with 100, and if the number is more than 100, so it will simply print the custom exception. Okay, here also we have a try catch block. In the try block we have written echo check number. So whatever condition you want to check or execute, you will write it inside try block, and then in the catch block you will get the custom exception. Okay, in the previous example you saw that we were just using exception class. Here we have extended the exception class, and here you will catch exception e, $e, and in e you will get message in catch. You can also use catch and exception. So you can use custom exception, and you can also use your exception. And here you are catching the general exception, and here you are catching the custom exception. So if you want to catch your custom exception message, you can select that. And finally, you will always display validation is complete. Now when you will run this, so you will see the number is acceptable for the first case. For the second case, got custom exception, the number is too large. So you can see that got custom exception, the number is too large. This is something that you will not get. So the simple explanation is, you can here you can see division by 0 is not allowed. End of division operation. That was the first case. In the second case, the number is not acceptable. Got custom exception. The number is too large. So key points to remember here is throw keyword used to signal that an error has occurred. Try block code that might throw an exception. Catch block code that handles the thrown exception, and finally block code that runs regardless of an exception. And custom exception extend the exception class for specialized error handling. Okay, exception handling makes PHP code more robust and easier to debug. This is a simple example of PHP. If you would like to learn more advanced PHP concepts, please subscribe to our channel so that you can keep receiving updates like this. Thanks for watching.